Okay, welcome back. I'm now going to be reviewing all of Wednesday's action from the NHL, starting with the teams you see on your screen, as we have two teams from the Atlantic duking it out for 2 points, as the Buffalo Sabres went into Montreal to take on the Habs. In the first period, Ira Xhekaj would kick things off with 7 minutes and 19 seconds to go, his third of the season from Waugh and Savard. After 20 minutes of play, it was 1-0 in favor of the Habs. In the second period, Dragonis, oh my gosh, John, whatever his name is, he gets his fifth goal of the year from Chikora Jajai and Rasmus Dahlin in 4 minutes and 20 seconds into that middle frame. Struble would get his third goal of the season for the Habs, assisted by Waugh and Newhook, 6 minutes and 35 seconds of that period, making it 2-1 in favor of Montreal. Skinner would tie the game up with a power play goal 9 minutes and 28 seconds into that frame, his 18th of the season from Cousins and Tage Thompson. Despite the fact that Montreal had a late power play in that second period, Alex Tuch would get a short-handed goal with 1 minute and 52 seconds remaining, making it 3-2 in favor of the Sabres. There would be no scoring in the third, so that's where we would stand at the end of regulation. So with the victory, the Buffalo Sabres are 25, 27, and 4, and with a loss, my Habs are 22, 26, and 8. All right, the next matchup took place in Chicago, where we had the Blackhawks, and they were playing host to the Philadelphia Flyers. So let's take a look and see just how this matchup went. Okay, so in the first period, Sanheim would kick things off for the Philadelphia Flyers, getting his sixth goal of the year from Lawton and Farabee. Colin Blackwell would tie the game up 7 minutes and 35 seconds into that frame, his fourth of the year, assisted by Joey Anderson. After 20 minutes of play, we're all tied up at 1. Konechny would make it 2-1 in favor of the Philadelphia Flyers 3 minutes and 15 seconds into that second period, his 27th goal of the year. Garnet Hathaway would increase the lead to 3-1 with 8 minutes and 5 seconds remaining, his sixth of the year from Cates and Ryan Poehling. There was no scoring in the third, so 3-1 would be the final score in favor of the Flyers. So with that win, Philadelphia is currently sitting 30, 20, and 7, still sitting third in that Metropolitan Division, while the Blackhawks are 15, 39, and 3. I'm sure the draft can't come soon enough if you're a Blackhawks fan. All right, the next matchup took place in Anaheim, where we had the Ducks, and they were playing host to the Columbus Blue Jackets. All right, let's take a look and see how this game unfolded. A pretty wild game, high scoring, just to give you a heads up. So in the first period, Werenski would kick things off for the Blue Jackets, getting his third goal of the year from Gaudreau and Roslovic, 3 minutes and 32 seconds into that frame. Gaudreau would get his 8th goal of the year, assisted by Bean, 9 minutes and 32 seconds into that frame, making it 2-0 in favor of the Jackets. Werenski would get his second goal of the game with 1.5 minutes remaining, his fourth of the year from Jenner and Roslovic. So after 20 minutes of play, it was 3-0 in favor of the Blue Jackets. In the second period, Corrali would give the Blue Jackets a 4-0 lead, his 8th of the year, assisted by Texier. Troy Terry would finally get on the board for the Anaheim Ducks, 9 minutes and 7 seconds into that frame, his 17th of the year, assisted by Vakinen and Vatarno. McTavish would cut the deficit to 4-2 with 3 minutes and 5 seconds remaining, his 16th of the year from Terry and Mintyukov, making it 4-2 in favor of the Jackets. McTavish would then score his second goal of the game, the 17th of the year from Troy Terry and Mintyukov with 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining, cutting the deficit to 4-3. And then Alex Killorn would tie the game up with just 24 seconds remaining, his 7th of the year from Leo Carlson and Mintyukov. So after having a 4-0 lead, the Blue Jackets blew it, getting 4 goals scored against them. After 40 minutes of play, we were all tied up at 4. In the third period, Chinakov would break the tie, 6 minutes and 50 seconds into that frame, getting his 15th of the year from Gaudreau and Jenner. Corrali would score his second goal of the game, 7 minutes and 39 seconds into that frame, getting his 9th of the year from Sillinger and Texier. And then, despite the fact that the Ducks were on a power play, Boone Jenner would get a shorthanded goal, and that would happen with just 33 seconds to go. 18th of the year, assisted by Severson. So despite blowing a 4-0 lead, the Blue Jackets managed to get 3 goals in the third period. 7-4 would be the final score. With the victory, Blue Jackets are sitting at 18, 27, and 10, still the worst team in the East. And the Anaheim Ducks are 20, 34, and 2. And yeah, not making the playoffs. All right. Now we're off to Arizona, where we had the Coyotes, and they were playing against the Toronto Maple Leafs. All right. Let's take a look and see how this game went. So in the first period, McCann would open up the scoring for the Buds, getting his 9th of the year, assist by TJ Brody and Liljegren. Austin Matthews would get his 50th goal of the season, already has 50 goals, and the season is not even done. Unreal. Assisted by Liljegren and Marner. That was a power play goal, 5 minutes and 1 second into that frame. With 4 minutes and 33 seconds to go, the Maple Leafs had another power play. William Nylander would score his 30th goal of the year from Marner and Tavares, and that happened with 4 minutes and 33 seconds remaining on the clock. So 3-0 in favor of Toronto heading into the second period. Then Shelly would finally get the Yotes on the board, getting his 9th of the year from Bustad, 4 minutes and 28 seconds into that frame. Just a minute and 10 seconds after that, Hayton would cut the deficit to 3-2, getting his 3rd of the year from Kerfoot and Josh Brown. Austin Matthews with his 2nd goal of the game, his 51st of the season from Mitch Marner, with 3 minutes and 53 seconds to go. Genther would cut the deficit to 4-3, getting a late power play goal for the Coyotes. That would be his 6th goal of the year from Keller and Dursey, and that goal happened with just 7 seconds to go in the frame. So after 40 minutes of play, it was 4-3 in favor of Toronto. In the third period, exactly 2 minutes into that frame, William Nylander would get his 2nd goal of the game, his 31st of the season from TJ Brody. John Tavares would add an insurance goal, getting his 16th of the year from Robertson and McMahon. And that goal happened 8 minutes and 24 seconds in that frame. So with the victory, the Leafs just seem to be getting hotter and hotter as the season is coming to an end. Are 31-16-8, and for the Coyotes, they're 23-29-4, and looking very bleak when it comes to making the postseason. All right, the last game from Wednesday's schedule took place in Edmonton, where we had the Oilers, and they were playing against the Boston Bruins. Let's take a look and see how this game went. In the first period, Morgan Geekie would kick things off for the Boston Bruins, getting his 10th goal of the year from Lowery and Charlie Coyle, a power play goal, 2 minutes and 34 seconds into that opening frame. Warren Foegele would score with 8 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, getting his 12th of the year from Connor McDavid. After 20 minutes of play, it was 1-1. In the second period, Brad Marchand would give the Boston Bruins a 2-1 lead, getting his 26th of the year from Heinen and Lowery. Frederick would give the Bruins a 3-1 lead, 4 minutes and 40 seconds into that frame, getting his 16th of the year from Boakfist and Charlie McAvoy. Jake DeBrusk, I believe his family is from that Edmonton area, so it always seems certain players always shine in their hometown, would get his 13th goal of the year from Pasternak and Witherspoon with 6 minutes and 3 seconds remaining on the clock. 4-1 in favor at that point, in favor of the Bruins. With just under 5 minutes to go, 4 minutes and 33 seconds to be exact, Warren Foegele would get his 2nd goal of the game, his 13th of the year, assisted by Hyman and Kubelak, cutting the deficit to 4-2. After 40 minutes of play, it was 4-2 in favor of Boston. In the third period, Janmark would cut the deficit to 4-3, getting his 3rd goal of the year from Cody Ceci, 6 minutes and 14 seconds into that frame. Corey Perry would tie the game up, getting his 7th goal of the year from Nurse and Ceci, 7 minutes and 24 seconds into that frame. With just over 6 minutes to go, 6 minutes and 19 seconds, David Pasternak would give the Boston Bruins a 5-4 lead, getting his 36th goal of the year from Lowry. And then Zach Hyman would tie the game up less than a minute after that, getting his 34th goal of the year from Ekholm and McDavid. So a wild game, to say the least. It would take overtime to decide a winner. And with a minute and 50 seconds remaining, Charlie McAvoy would not the game-winning goal, getting his 9th of the year from DeBrusk and Pavel Zacha. So 6-5 was the final score from Edmonton. So with the victory, the Bruins are 33-12-12. Again, at that point, they could have been first or second in that division between them and the Panthers. They were neck and neck in the standings. The Oilers, after the loss, 33-18-2, are still holding on to that 3rd place spot, but the Kings are right on their tail, so they can't afford to go on a 3 or 4 game losing streak, because then they could find themselves being bumped down in the standings. All right, that takes care of my review from Wednesday. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, please feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. Until next time, take care.